I don't want Fortnite OG to stay past its normalized stay and end up being a permanent game mode in the game like Zero Build ended up being. And I know before you go in the comments and you're like, I'm going to find you, Ricky, and I will eliminate you in real life. Let me explain, okay? Because it's not me saying, oh, I hate OG Fortnite, OG Fortnite's bad or anything like that. I enjoy this. This is a lot of fun. However, at the same time, even though it is fun, we have to keep in mind the effects of having this as a mode long term. Simply put, as of right now, the player base is very, very split. Zero Build was very popular when it released, and as we've seen with time, as things have changed, throughout the past few months or whatever else, Zero Build has slowly gotten a little bit less popular, especially for OG Fortnite. There's a lot more heavy emphasis on build, because this map was never really made for Zero Build, right? You can find some things here and there that maybe makes it better for Zero Build, but at the same time, it's something where in the majority of the time you're just going to be like, okay, I'd prefer to play building enabled, even if you're a mainly Zero Build person, just because of the fact that Zero Build is just scary, right? I'm currently elite ranked in Zero Build, and I mean, we can even do the emote right now to prove it. You see the elite little black glow or whatever else, and I can tell you, it is scary. Out in the open, there's like a million places you can get shot at, right? There's a million people running snipers, all this type of stuff, and if you start getting shot at, someone spots you, you can't really hide from them. There's only a few things you can do, right? You can use the grapple gloves if you manage to get those from the rift encounter or a supply drop, and I mean, even going for a supply drop in ranked mode, that is scary in its own right. You can go ahead and use the normal grappler, but that doesn't have as much mobility in terms of like sideways movement or whatever else, so someone could potentially track onto you and still eliminate you, and in terms of Zero Build, it is a scary place. But of course, I'm trying to get Unreal ranked this season, just because I think it would be cool to get it in the Fortnite OG season, and prove people wrong who think that I'm bad at the game just because I play bot lobbies. I mean, I'm just bad naturally, alright? But Zero Build aside, what if they had their own game mode, right? I thought about this a little bit, and I was like, if they had their own game mode, imagine that you had 3 modes you could select, right? You had normal Battle Royale, you had Zero Build Battle Royale, and then you had OG Battle Royale, which was building enabled only. Zero Build isn't an option, and it was enabled just as like a third mode or whatever. It could be an interesting experience where some people enjoy it. However, I feel in terms of long term, it would be difficult for Epic Games to actually want to continue having that mode in existence, because if you think about it, whenever they have to update something for normal Battle Royale or Zero Build, that means that it's going to be modified in that OG Battle Royale mode, unless they add their own data table and, their specific set of loot tables and all this type of stuff in the back end, so that doesn't happen. And even if that was the case, let's say Epic Games accidentally yoinks an item or a mesh or something from the files, not realizing it was used on the OG map, right? It would end up in the situation where it's like, oh, well, now it's technically we're losing stuff from the OG map, and it end up becoming an imposter issue over time, where it's like, it exists, you can play it, however, at the exact same time, even though it exists, it has issues, right? There's a lot less happening with it, there's a lot more bugs showing up on the map and everything else, and it also brings into question, what version of the map would they use, right? Because if you think about it, they have to focus on whatever their next map is, right? They have to focus on the Chapter 5 map, because we do know we're getting a new map, and they have to make sure that all that stuff is pretty solid, so trying to keep the old map updated weekly or monthly or whatever else they end up doing, while also making sure that the new map is constantly getting updates as well, would just split their time even more than it has already been split, because, I mean, if we pay attention, they're working on a racing mode, they're working on Sparks, which apparently is like music or whatever, right? And apparently it's under harmonics, so maybe it's like a rhythm type game or something. They're working on like a 50 million different UEFN modes and all this type of stuff. They're even working on an event for the end of the season, all this type of things, but at the same time, if we add on the OG map, it's going to be like, okay, so now we're just going to make sure that Battle Royale has even less love put into the main map that they're trying to focus on, build the lore on, or whatever else. And while I think that it is fun right now, it's really nostalgic to go back to like Haunted Hills and all these places and just memorize all the stuff, realize how, like, how well my memories actually stood up for this specific map compared to like Chapter 2, 3, 4, all that type of stuff. I still feel like this map shouldn't be a mode. I feel like it should just exist until December 2nd, until we get Chapter 5, and then it should be put into the vault unless they want to make it like a, a yearly thing. Like, for an anniversary event, they could bring the map back for a week or something along those lines, because I feel like the longer that this stays in here, the more it's going to split the player base, especially if you could choose between the current map and this map, and the more it's just going to cause issues here and there. Now, they could also do an Apex Legends approach where they have a map rotation, where it's like every 30 minutes to 45 minutes to an hour or whatever else, else. It's like, okay, you have the Helios map, and then now an hour has passed, you're on the Athena map, all that type of stuff. They could do a rotation like that. However, at the same time, they have their Battle Royale island based around a lot of narrative. And they do it in a way where there's a lot of quests that might not be able to be done in the OG map, so you'd be sitting there like, okay, you know, I have this quest to go to this specific POI or whatever else. Can't really do that right now because I don't have that map available. So it's like you either wait an hour, play the old map, or you just kind of log off and hope next time you log in, you get the map you actually want so you can quickly complete whatever quest you need to do, right? And, you know, there's some solutions here and there, but I feel that no matter what Epic Games would do, it would cause some problems with just updating the game in general. It would cause less love to be put into Battle Royale. You know, a lot more of their time would be split on focusing on multiple modes at once, and it would end up in this situation where it's just kind of like a rift of no real good way of actually implementing this, at least from what I can tell, that wouldn't cause the player base to either get split more or just to get upset with how some of the quest line stuff is handled, right? So, you know, that's just my personal opinion on why, except for the fact my aim is garbage. Jesus, I don't know why I was trying to use an SMG at long range there, but it's my personal opinion on why I don't think that we should get Fortnite OG as a permanent map that you're able to play forever. I think that it should stay until December 3rd, and then we get the Chapter 5 map, and we go on with it, right? You can reminisce on the OG times or whatever else. I assume the player count's going to get a little bit lower or whatever because the OG map's gone, but at the same time, I feel that Fortnite OG is also going to drag some old players back into the game, and they're going to end up spending some money on item shop cosmetics, because if you compare Chapter 1 cosmetics to the Chapter 4 ones, there's been a lot of improvements across the board, and I just feel that too much nostalgia could be a little bit of a bad thing for this. But of course, you know, if it stays as a mode, will I be fine with it? Sure, you know, it doesn't bother me, right? I'm not someone who's like, I will ban this game from my library, I will block it or whatever else if they add OG Fortnite back permanently. No, from what I'm aware of, they're going to be adding the map in a certain like creative royale way, because there have been some leaks before where the creative royale is going to get a special battle royale map selector where you can select between the Athena map, which is the Chapter 1 map, or the current battle royale map. But of course that waits to be seen in the future if that actually goes through or if they scrap it. And I feel that having it as a little bit of a creative tool for people who want to use those creative experiences could be a good thing, right? It could be a fun little experience to be like, hey, it's gone, but not forever. You can go ahead and now access it whenever you want from the creative menu and make your own modifications to the loot pool, change some things up here and there to make it however you would like it to be. I feel like that is a system that they have kind of planned on already that could be good, but having it as officially supported mode would just be bad for the game overall, right? It would just cause this rift between the player base and, you know, what everyone wants to play. And I mean, you know, already when I'm playing with some people, you know, whenever I hop in, I'm like, what do you want to play? Do you want to play bot lobbies? Do you want to play real matches? Do you want to play building enabled? Do you want to play zero build? Imagine me like, what do you want to play? We got bot lobbies, zero build. We got real lobbies. We got building enabled. We got OG Fortnite. We got creative mode. We got red versus blue. We got save the world. We got insert other thing here, right? There's a lot of options, and you're just going to end up having like a pull board. You'll have to have like a whiteboard behind you where you're like tallying up the marks, you know, connecting the dots and everything, just to figure out if you're going to be playing the OG map or the new one or whatever else. And well, that is, you know, a little bit exaggerated. You kind of get the point, right? So with that said, hopefully you guys aren't too mad at me for saying that I am fine with the OG map going away. I love this map, right? I love going Haunted Hills, all the type of stuff. I definitely think that they will end up releasing it as some type of creative royale version. Regarding which version of the map it will be, if it'll be week 1 or week 4, I have no clue. And if, you know, if it even ends up releasing, but I do think that is the best way they could really handle this without straining the actual employees or whatever too much in order to, you know, make sure everything's functioning properly and make sure that they're continuing to update stuff, right? Give it to the community and allow the community themselves to update it, considering the fact that a lot of people out there are always like, oh yeah, we want to play OG Fortnite through, and you know, like when UEFN released, people tried doing that originally and it kind of slowed down a lot. So giving it out as an option where it's like, hey, you can have your OG Fortnite creation with the official map itself, not having to worry about, you know, like the memory cost or whatever else of it, would be a very nice thing to see. But until next time, hope champs and champions enjoyed today's YouTube video. Like the video if you liked it, dislike it if you didn't like it. I don't really mind. You do you at the end of the day, and I will catch you guys tomorrow with another upload. Peace out.